Good evening, everyone. My name is Womcalt, and tonight we will be talking about thrifting. More specifically, my slow addiction and sort of escalation into it. Now, I first started thrifting probably when I was in high school and sort of fell in love with the idea. I was sort of brought up to repair things. That's why I have, these sort of tech components lying around. Someone threw this out. Um, Someone threw this out into me that is weird to an extent. Obviously, some things are just trash, but most things aren't. Most things are labeled trash because people don't want to take the time or the effort or any energy whatsoever into making it something beautiful. And I suppose that's my goal with taking a lot of this tech trash. Now, where does thrifting fit into that? That's a great question because the thing with thrifting is it's basically almost trash. That's how I've always looked at it. It's simply things that people aren't throwing out because they want to see if someone else can get a second life out of it. They are trying to be hopeful about something. And I think that's why I've always sort of found it fascinating. Um, as I grew older, I sort of fell in love with thrifting more simply because, what's not to like? What is not to like about thrifting? You go to this thrift store, okay? You have an idea of what you want. Let's say you want jeans. You look in the jeans section, either you get things or you don't, okay? I'd probably say the only con about thrifting, which it isn't even really a con if you have good time management skills, is if you need something like extremely right away and they don't have it. Like if you have X set in your mind and you have enough time, you will find it thrifting. That is a possibility, right? Like that's what I like about it is I go there and I find like I'm like I know I want jeans. Like I want jeans and I go there and like it's not even like grail stuff, like not even brands, it's just oh my god. To the point where I don't think there might have been a couple times, but I think besides that, most of my clothes now are thrifted to the point where like I'm that guy when people say where'd you get this from, and I kind of feel like a little bit of a stereotype about it, but I go, oh, I thrifted it. You know, I thrifted it. This is like, I think at work the other day, my entire outfit was thrifted. My shirt was thrifted. Oh no, I want to say it was today. Tie was thrifted. Shirt was thrifted. Shoes were thrifted. How are you thrifting shoes, Womp Cult? Let me tell you. Here they are. Boom. Boom. Banger. Okay. These are Nike kill shots, I think. I don't know. They're kind of, yeah, they're called kill shots. They seem kind of old. I love them. Here's the thing about Womp Cult's feet. Womp Cult has like size 13 feet. So buying shoes anywhere has always been a hassle for me. Like a genuine hassle because there have been so many times I find a shoe and I really like it. And I go to get my size and they're like, we don't make it that big. With certain brands, I'm a 14 because for some reason they make a 13, but it's really narrow. It's like, if my foot's that big, it's probably pretty wide. Like, what are we doing, guys? From a manufacturing standpoint, at least, what are we doing? And then there are some people who are going to be like, oh, why don't you get it like a 13, like W then or something? Because some brands don't have that. I really wish there was like some way we could get all of the brands to go on the same sizing too, because that would help a lot. And I get that part of that issue is simply because people's bodies are proportioned differently. I get that. But to an extent, that's only so much of a problem. That's so annoying. And this is the other, like kind of a little bit about thrifting, but if you know yourself and get used to it, it's easier. I'm trying to get like the cons out of the way. Is if you're like, I don't know if this will fit or not, they don't have a changing room. Like that's where like the elbow, like the forearm room comes in, where like this is approximately the size of my waist. The only issue with the forearm thing is if you have, I was gonna say you're if you're a guy, but that doesn't even apply to everyone. If you have certain things down there, right? If you have like your what's a good word for it? If you have like your Subway sandwich down there, and you have your two bags of chips, that doesn't measure like the bottom. So I've gotten jeans before where I'm like, these are awesome, and then I put them on, and there's no room for the chip bags or the Subway sandwich. Um, and it's actually horrible. It's actually horrible, and it's the worst thing ever because you're like, no, I had perfect jeans and they don't fit in. So if you are going to use those tricks, just try to be careful of stuff like that. I know there's one you can do with your neck, but I've never done it right. So, but besides that, I love thrifting, because this is what it does. Okay, it enables you. I think part of it is there's something really satisfying about having to search. Like there's something satisfying about having to work while you're shopping, to an extent, at least for me. I like being able to go to a thrift store, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not one of those persons that looks through everything. I rarely do that. Like for t-shirts, I kind of go like I'll go into the thing, look for a few, jump, because it's really rare that I go through the entire thing. And some people are like that, and it works for them. That I can't do that. It doesn't work for me. I have to jump. Um, but there's so much variety. There's so much variety. One, two. A lot of the time, it's so cheap. That's the other issue. Once you take the thrift pill, is these shoes. Okay, there's two of them. These were $10. I've easily gotten more than $10 use out of them. Easily. Okay. You must be wondering about the Domo hat too. The Domo hat is unfortunately not thrifted. Um, I believe someone made it, or they might be reselling them. I don't know. I know someone did make these. These are my Kirby shoes. I just got these, and they are genuinely awesome. They have little Kirby's on them, and they're cool. Part of the issue, my only issue with them is they're like kind of water stained. So me and the person who made them, we're kind of going back and forth on like, hey, like, what's up? But I really do also like buying things sort of off of non like marketplaces like Depop and stuff and whatever. Like this is off Depop, that was off Depop. But like the thing is, here's my genuine issue with stuff like this. Okay, this is an awesome concept that a collaboration will probably never happen with. Okay, these are like Chucks, by the way, in case you can't tell. And if it does happen, these would be like $200 or something stupid. It would. That's the issue. Is it's not that necessarily, at least for like mainstream fashion, that there's stuff that's bad. I mean, there is some stuff that's just kind of like, what are we doing? But there's some stuff where it's a collaboration, and then it's like, why am I paying 160 for like a bomber jacket? Like there's like a Hello Kitty bomber jacket, and I was like, that's heat. Let me look at that. I want to say it was like 200. I want to say it was two something, and then it was on sale, and it was down to like 180. I was like, and the thing is if you found that thrifting, it'd probably be like $60, maybe. It it makes it really opens your eyes to how much fast fashion is sort of profiting off of you. And the other thing that's great is, thrifting's great for the environment. Like I said in the beginning, you're basically taking someone else's trash that they deem is worth just enough to give a second life. Maybe not a third or a fourth, but a second. And when I say thrifting, a lot of people think I talk about clothes. There's a reason I talked about my tech trash earlier. Um, it's not this monitor. It's this one. This monitor. I have two monitors. This monitor, the I don't know if you can see it. It might be in frame. There is a monitor back there in the background. Those are both thrifted. The monitor in the background is like $7. This one I think was 12. Okay. And the thing that I like about the thrift store I go to, by the way, I go to Savers just because it's the closest near where I am. And I've gone to the Goodwills near me because, okay, here's the thing. Where I am in the country, there are some Goodwills. There's not a lot. But everywhere else in the country, the Goodwills seem to be like really good. Where I don't know who's running the Goodwills, like who the district manager for the Goodwills are near me. They're ass. They're actually fucking like they're shit. They're actually shit. Like price wise, it's so shit. It's basically like a 10% off at a normal store. Like that's what most of their stuff is, which sucks. Um, and they also have like weird niche things, and a lot of their sections. It seems like they're buying stuff to sell there, if that makes sense. Which I don't think a thrift store should do. Like, okay, that's dumb. Let me rephrase that. I don't think a thrift store should like it. Basically, in the Goodwills near me, it looks like in when you go down certain areas of the store, it looks like the dollar store, basically, and they have a bunch of the same item. So I don't know what's up with that. I used to be a big fan of the Salvation Army, um, but then I found out they're like mean to gay people. I think they're one of those things that don't think gay people exist or something. So I stopped going there. Um, Also, it's kind of one of those old head companies where you learn that and you're like, oh, that's kind of sad. And then they're like, also like, we're not open on Sundays. Why would we be open on Sundays, pal? Get a grip. Which, listen, if you are of that like religious persuasion, this isn't a dig at you at all. But it is kind of ridiculous that everything else is open and there are some stores that refuse to be. Obviously, it's their right, but as a consumer, that's just fucking annoying. Like, if I can have a bank on my little screen, I should be able to go to a store basically whenever I want, right? At least during like kind of normal hours. But that's why I really do enjoy Savers. I get they have stupid prices. They genuinely have stupid prices. The only other time I've gotten more stupider prices is at the Salvation Army when I used to go with my boy. Shout out Danny C. I want to say me and Danny C would genuinely go in there. There's a good like 5 or 6 times we went in there, and it was actually like the stupid coupon. Like I swear to God, there's one time I think we both had around like $30 or $40 worth of stuff, and both walked out with I don't know, pay like $10 because they had these like weird promos that would stack where it's like minus 50% off because it's the color purple. Like this tag's also purple, so this one's just free. Like it was something stupid like that, and we'd walk out of there. But the other issue too is the Salvation Army near me too also just sucks. Like as a store, it sucks. Ever since I went to the Savers near me, and even the Savers that's like kind of near me, they're both better. I obviously have like a favorite. I'm not gonna drop it, but it's genuinely like it's actually what I think like doing Fent is like to an extent because I can't stop. I literally can't stop. Um, and the thing too is that it definitely helps you dress better too because when you're thrifting, because usually I don't. There's been a couple times like I know I did it for New Year's this year. For New Year's, all of my friends dressed up. So well, a lot of us went to thrift stores and just bought stuff because all of my suits, besides the suit I wore to my high school prom, are thrifted. The things I go to career fairs in, thrifted. All of my ties I own, thrifted. Okay? Let's go tie for tie right now. Where's the one I wore? Yeah. I wore this one to work today, right? That's a cool tie. Oh, Womcall, what other ties do you have? Let me show you. Let me show you. Stock market tie. Boom. Business majors pants just got fucking creamed. Gotta change them, pal. This one I wore to work the other day. That one's really cool. We have this one, kind of funky, kind of out there. We have this one, which isn't tied for some reason. We have the sheep tie. The sheep tie is cool. It's a bunch of like tiny sheepies. This is a black with a gold pattern. This is a penguin tie. This is probably my favorite one. I wore this to this is like genuinely my lucky tie. The job I have now, the interview I wore this to, and the one before that, I both got first try. This is a Snoopy Joe Cool tie. This was $4 fucking. Okay, listen. I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you don't. Put some respect on my name and know that if I ever overdose, it'll be on swag. Like for real. Like genuinely. Like peep the domo. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All those are thrifted. Don't get me wrong. They're not all $4. There's probably a couple ties in there that are like a good 7 or 8, kind of pricey for a tie. But what are you gonna do? What else do I like about thrifting besides the tech? Besides a lot of stuff like tech. I think I got this cell phone $5. It works, by the way. Had a SIM card in it. Okay, like it doesn't. Do I have anything in here? I don't think so. No, I've gotten like a couple good screwdrivers too. So that's why I like about it because Savers is very. I mean, Savers specifically, but thrift stores in general usually are pretty good about having multi-directional sections. Like home section, clothing section, jewelry section, whatever, and it saves you money. I also think it has kind of cured my brain rot at least a little bit because I have to search for things. I think there's something in my human brain about hunting and gathering or something like that where when I find a grail in the thrift store, I get like a dopamine hit. It's basically like gambling. That's the thing is it's probably like the same psychology behind gambling cuz it's kind of gambling but with low stakes because there's no entry fee. Right? Worst that happens is you walk out dressed out in swag. Basically, best thing that happens is that you replace your entire wardrobe, you know? But yeah, I really do like thrifting, obviously, and especially when like now, like the economy sucks. I'm not an economist, obviously. I'm an undergraduate student, but I think everyone can agree that the economy has been sucking for working class people for a while, right? And thrifting helps. You know what else it helps with? Stuff like this. Okay, I got this for like a pretty low price. Like I want to say it was like 7 plus shipping or something. Actually, it might have been 10. I think it was 10 plus shipping. That's a good price. Thrifting helps with like silly stuff that you don't want to pay money on. Okay, because everyone likes a good joke. Everyone likes a good bit. That Joe Cool tie probably would have cost like $30, $20 in store. That is way too much money for a tie. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know if this is just me, but I'm kind of like a frugal person. I don't know if you can tell. And it gets to a point where it's like, unless you're going to wear the item and it's like enchanted, like, unless it's like Prot 2, like, what are you doing? And even then, like, how realistically, how much are you paying for like Prot 2 shirt? Maybe $30, and still that's kind of high for Prot 2. Like I don't know, man. But yeah, these shorts I'm wearing are thrifted. Those are cool. But it really makes you appreciate what you find. It really makes you easier to do good bits. And I think to an extent, it helps you sort of find out what kind of style you like too, right? Because if you go there and you're like, I only need pants, like I really never go there and try to get a whole fit that works with it. I just go there and get stuff I like because I know if I have stuff I like, I can put it with other stuff I like and it'll work. Um, I've always been sort of good at I don't I've always been good at dressing myself. um, no, but I've always had a knack for sort of putting things together and having it not look like dog water. Um, but that's also probably because I wear a lot of jeans. So, like, how do you mess up jeans? You know what I mean? Like as an outfit. Um, yeah, I was not one of those kids in middle school who wore like the highlighter Nike apparel. I think I had like one pair of Nike shorts like that, and I remember I outgrew them like 2 months after I got them, and I was pissed. It's like genuinely pissed. And then Nike stopped like making them, and I was like, awesome. I was like, this is so awesome and cool. But I also really like about thrifting at least. These need to stay back here. Rah. I really do enjoy the kind of aspect too because there have been times where I was going to throw stuff out and it's like, oh, I can give it to my thrift store. I feel like it at least a little bit brings you closer to your community because you know it's not just going to go to waste. It's not, there's a good, like, don't get me wrong, it still might eventually, but people will probably wear it until there's holes in it and stuff. And, you know, maybe someone will sew it. And there's so many good things about thrift stores. And I think that's why I don't know if it's an our generation thing is flocking to it because I feel like that would be very biased for me to say. Um, what is interesting is I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I can see how other generations see my generation, and I think it's funny because I feel like they all think we're sort of radicals and sort of these people who can't get off their phone and don't want to work and you know all these things. And I'm starting to think it's really funny, especially in a workplace where I work with older people. Not that not any of the older people I work with directly are bad. They're all really nice. But seeing sort of generational differences is funny to me because it sort of made me realize that every generation at one point is exactly how I am right now and how our generation is being depicted. So just a little food for thought, I guess. But um, I really do enjoy you know, sort of donating stuff when I'm gonna throw it out and whatever. And the best part, here's the best part. I know it works at Savers, you know, if you know, I haven't gotten down to the base of their throbbing big meat Subway sandwich yet. Here goes me writing them more. When you donate, you get a coupon. You get a coupon for when you donate a certain amount. So it's just basically this giant cycle of buying stuff you need or want and not feeling guilty about it because it's most of the time sourced kind of ethically. It's not. It's not. It's better than buying stuff off the shelves for with fast fashion though, right? So you're doing your bit a little bit, okay? Then you are sort of which I don't know how else you would do it more like make your own clothes question mark, but I don't know how to do I don't know how to do that. I don't have time to do that. I can't sew any. I used to know how to sew as a kid. You see these mitts? I can't sew. Today at work, me and my coworkers were making a 3D Minecraft house. Like you know the you print out paper, you cut it out, you tape it, and it's like a figurine. We're doing one of those of House from House, and I couldn't do his arms because my fingers were too big. It was kind of embarrassing. Anyhow, anyhow, essentially speaking, you are getting the clothes in an ethical manner and for cheaper, by the way. You're stretching your dollar out more, which is good ultimately for the economy, I think. Then, because it makes you spend more, then you use those items in a manner you like, whatever. You will use them for many years. Maybe you only use them once. That's your prerogative. It's your property. You go to throw them out, you donate it. It helps. There's a whole cycle. It's good. It works to an extent. It's not perfect, but it really does bring you closer to the community. It really helps because I mean, you might have something someone else is dreaming of finding, and you can get that with thrifting. And I know I've said that about tools, or not tools, mainly about clothes, but I really do think that thrifting everything, I mean, obviously, thrifting clothes is really nice and that's what it's known for, but everything else too is up for grabs. I'm not sure if it's just kind of around here, but I think there's sort of this stereotype that thrift stores are only clothes stores, and I hate that because, like I said, I get cool tech from there all the time. I get like um tools and cables and different stuff I need that realistically if I went to the store and bought it new, it's fucking the consumer, myself, because it's costing me way more than it should. And then it's also essentially driving out any local businesses unless I'm inherently shopping at them, which is kind of impossible to do nowadays unless you're in a large metropolitan area that has them still and they haven't been gentrified out, or you live in like the middle of nowhere and you only have them. But point being that your thrift store might not be local, it might be a corporate chain, but at least it fucks you with some lube, right? I don't know. And I really do think another reason I like it, not to get political, but I completely believe in the right to repair. Right to repair should be a thing. I don't know who doesn't want right to repair. It's your property. You should have the right to fix it. You know, if I get a hole in this t-shirt, am I going to send it to like Mr. Red Sox so they can sew it for me? No, I'm going to sew it myself. If I want to, which I probably won't, because like I said, I can't sew anymore because I have little sausage fingers. But it really helps you sort of enable yourself and sort of become a little bit independent because you're buying tools, you're buying tech. You're like, does this work? Does this not work? Me and my good friend Michael Hanna, which in the last video I kept saying his Instagram account was MGH Fitness. Actually, MGH Mike's Journey. So my bad, man. And if that's wrong, please don't crucify me again. But me and him, we were in Savers like I want to say last week or the week before that, literally testing a computer in Savers with a monitor that you could buy with all this stuff because we wanted to see if it would work. And guess who talked to us about it? No one. No one gave a fuck. Okay. And obviously, we both work in computers, so that stuff comes kind of second nature to us. But still, it really does show you that the sky's the limit when it comes to being independent, having the right to repair things, like finding a jacket you like but it has a patch on it, take the patch off, like knowing how to style and dress yourself, like all of these things that I think in my opinion are critical to becoming an adult happen by being a consumer at a thrift store. That's right. I am a shell for thrift stores, and to be honest with you, I probably will be till the day I die because I'm frugal. Okay, I've saved so much money by shopping there. You can stretch your dollars so much, and don't get me wrong, I am aware of the the sort of Macklemore school of thought that it was cheaper before he made that song, and once he made it, it exploded and made the mainstream. But I also have a theory that I am a product of that mainstream thing. I really do think that there's a good chance that if he didn't make that song, I might not shop there as much. I want to say there's like a 10% chance. The only reason is because my parents shopped there growing up. Um, Also, I just remembered this is a thing. Some people think they're like dirty. Um, I don't think any of my viewers think thrift stores are dirty. Um, I mean, they probably don't wash the clothes, but you can wash it. You can wash clothes. I believe in you. If Hey guys, comment down below if you want Womp Cult teach you how to do laundry video. I know in the last video I talked so much smack about people smelling bad who were sort of in the school of computer science, right? Womp Cult teaches you how to do laundry. Let me know. In all seriousness, though, thrifting is good for you. It's good for the environment. It's good for the economy because it helps you stretch your dollar. It helps you reuse things that otherwise may be thrown out. It's kind of helps you with your taxes a little bit too if you get cheeky with it, right? It also enables you to be more independent by sort of teaching you or sort of seductively showing you that you should know how to repair things if you do buy them. And on top of all of this, on top of all of this, it also gives you time to just be out and do something else other than be on your phone. You know, you can put music on and just go hit the racks and just go shirt for shirt for shirt. You know, you don't have to just stare at your phone while you're there. You can actually experience the world around you and actually spend time in a place that is physical, that isn't online. As much as I love online spaces, it's really hard nowadays to find these physical locations that do exist and actually matter, that don't expect you to immediately buy something and use it there and leave, or just leave. Like, I don't know. It's sad. It feels like our generation, to an extent, got cheated on because of those things, and I really do think it has deeply affected us. Um, some people argue third places don't exist, right? At least anymore. Some people argue they're dying. I don't think I really do have an answer for that. I do know that I would sort of consider the internet a third place, at least off the top of my head. But it's sad because, as much as I do really like the internet and I am passionate about it, I think that there are some things that fundamentally are going away with the modernization of the world. Um, and let's hope thrift stores aren't. I've been Womp Cult. I hope you enjoy the video. Like and subscribe if you do. This is why I love thrifting. I hope you have a great night. You should get some sleep soon. I know I will. I got work in the morning. Love this album. Peace.